Breaking news: suspension to remain indefinitely until Twitter shows remorse, says federal government. Hello, my wonderful people, it's happening. The federal government of Nigeria has said the suspension, my dear, it continues. Twitter has to show remorse. So Twitter has to be double standard when it comes to the president of a country. When it comes to the president, there is no freedom of speech. There is no violation. If the president has violated the rule, because it's the president, is exempted. Now, what happened? Donald Trump was the president of America. When he violated the rule, he was suspended, and America was not meant to also go through that. It's between him and his account and Twitter. But in Nigeria, difference is the case. Despite all the SANs, all the all the lawyers, all the people who say they are in charge of law, nobody can speak and let the federal government know that you have violated a fundamental human right, which is freedom of speech and expression. Yesterday, we saw that nations of the world that have their interest in Nigeria and partners met with the federal government, and the conclusion is that they said, well, we are sorry but not sorry. The suspension will remain until Twitter shows remorse. I don't understand the kind of remorse. Anyway, that is their words. Let's get straight into the news and get all the details. What sort of remorse are they expecting from Twitter? Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if this is your first time. God bless you. Suspension to remain indefinitely until Twitter shows remorse, says federal government. The suspension of the operation of America microblogging company Twitter in Nigeria by the federal government is to remain indefinitely until the company shows remorse, a top federal government official told This Day yesterday. According to him, since the suspension of Twitter operation in Nigeria last Friday, the company has not reached out to the federal government for dialogue. However, the House of Representatives has windowed into the dispute as it mandated its Committee on Communication, Justice, Information and Culture, and National Security and Intelligence to investigate the circumstances leading to the suspension of the operation of Twitter in Nigeria and the legality of the actions. It also summoned the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to shed light on the matter. But despite the suspension and order by the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami San, to prosecute violators of the suspension directive, many prominent Nigerians and some organizations have remained active on the microblogging site. Notwithstanding his order, Malami yesterday logged on to his Twitter using virtual private network to bypass the blockage by telecom companies that have blocked the access to the site to deactivate his account. This day also learned that the contrary to the impression given to the United States ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Beth Leonard, that Twitter was already holding talks with the federal government, the source says no discussion was ongoing. It was all a lie. Beth Leonard had led heads of United Kingdom, Canada, European Union, Island Mission to a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Godfrey, on Monday in Abuja, where she said she was glad to learn that Twitter was negotiating with the Nigerian government. But the source said, we have spoken. There has been no communication between Twitter and Nigerian government whatsoever. And until the company does the needful, its operation will remain suspended indefinitely. The source said the federal government suspended Twitter because it has persistently made its platform available for propagation of activities of persons who wants to destabilize the country. He said when the federal government complained, Twitter said the propagationist had not violated its rule. For instance, the federal government approached Twitter to remove a tweet by Nnamdi Kanu, but the company responded that the material did not offend its rules. It said, He stated that even after that, Kanu used Twitter to ask his followers to kill Nigerian soldiers and police personnel, and they obeyed. He added, if that is not offensive, then what is? According to him, over the top OTT companies operate in Nigeria without registering with the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) and paying tax on the billions they make from Nigeria. This, he said, will no longer happen, as henceforth the OTTs would now have to register as Nigerian companies and will be expected to comply with the terms of their regulation with the NCC. Any one of them that is not registered will not be allowed to operate. Anyone that abuses the terms of its regulation will have his license withdrawn, he has said. The House of Representatives has mandated its various committees to probe the circumstances of the decision of the federal government to suspend the operation of Twitter in Nigeria and the legalities of the suspension. The House also summoned Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, to appear before it and explain the reasons for the action. The directives were contained in an address delivered to the Speaker, Honorable Femi Gbajigbamila, at the reception of the plenary yesterday. Gbajigbamila said the lawmakers were aware that the suspension of Twitter has generated fierce debate, adding that the House has since the announcement been indebted with comments about the decision requires for intervention and words to be said to explain to Nigerians. He stated that the House recognizes that Twitter, like other social media networks, is important tool for communication and commerce in Nigeria, particularly among the younger generation who have used this network for enterprise and innovation. He, however, said that the House also recognizes that the social media has been a tool for good. It could also be a tool for bad actors. Hence, the federal government has a legitimate interest in ensuring that this platform are not used to commit vices acting against individuals in the country. Well said. However, what led to this? When you look at a matter, when you're trying to deliberate on issue, an action began that reaction. What was it exactly that made them to start acting in that light? Is it because, honestly, truly speaking, because they felt that this Twitter is actually violating the rules and something happened, or because the immediate action of why this Twitter was banned was because of the Buhari's tweet that was deleted, and they felt spite. Okay, they felt the ego stinged, and they said, you know what, let's ban Twitter. And they lied to the American ambassador to Nigeria that they were in talks with Twitter. You just heard it was all a lie. Nigeria, God will help us. Leave us a comment. God bless you. Bye for now.